You know that feeling, right? You're staring at something you know you need to do, but you just can't. You're stuck. Well, today we're going to talk about a super simple 5-second trick that's designed to shatter that paralysis. It's a tool that closes that frustrating gap between knowing what you should do and actually doing it. So let's dive in.
Okay, so before we jump to the solution, we've got to pinpoint the real enemy here. And I'll give you a hint. It's not what you think. It's not about being lazy, and it's not a lack of willpower. Nope, it's a habit. A really sneaky automatic reflex that holds pretty much all of us back.
I mean, of course you have, right? We all have. You know you should probably get out of bed, but you hit the snooze button. You know you should speak up in that meeting with that great idea, but you just stay quiet. You know you should start that huge project, but suddenly checking your email feels way more important. That right there, that's the knowing-doing gap, and it's basically a graveyard for our best intentions.
And this simple idea completely reframes the whole problem. See, the issue isn't some flaw in your character. It's not you. It's literally a feature of your brain. Think about it. When you face something that's difficult or uncertain, your brain's #1 job is to protect you. So its first instinct is to hesitate, to slam on the brakes. This isn't a conscious choice you're making. It's an automatic, hardwired habit.
So this habit of hesitation, it pushed the author Mel Robbins right to the edge. Back in 2009, her life was just falling apart. We're talking finances, career, marriage, everything. She was so overwhelmed, she literally struggled just to get out of bed in the morning. Then one night, she sees this random TV commercial of a rocket launching. And this tiny spark of an idea hits her. What if she could launch herself out of bed the next morning? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you know what? She actually did it. So that one single, almost desperate idea, it turned into this deceptively simple but honestly profound tool. Let's break down exactly what it is and how it actually works.
Okay, so here it is, the whole rule. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, to get up, to speak, to just start, you must count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then physically move. If you don't, your brain will stop you. It's that simple. You're interrupting that old habit of hesitation. And this is so important. It's not just a thought exercise. It's a physical intervention. So the clock starts ticking the exact moment you feel that instinct or, that feeling of resistance that follows right after. Let's say you look at your running shoes and that little voice says, I should go for a run. Boom. That's it. Your 5-second window just opened. You have to start right then. 5. Okay, as you keep counting, you're basically hijacking your brain's normal operating system. Because those excuses, they're already starting to line up. I'm too tired. I'll just do it later. It's kind of cloudy. But the simple act of counting yanks your focus away from all that noise and puts your mind on this one simple, forward-moving track, 4. And this, right here, is the core of the mental trick. You're not trying to argue with your brain. You're not trying to reason with your feelings. You're just distracting it. By tying up its processing power with this super simple task of counting, you're basically starving all that doubt and worry of the oxygen they need to grow. 3. Now, the direction you count is absolutely critical. You have to count backward. Think about it. If you count up, 1, 2, 3, well, you can just keep going, right? 4, 5, 6. But counting down, 5, 4, 3, that creates a definitive endpoint. It forces a decision. It builds momentum toward one specific moment, signaling to your brain that something is about to happen. 2. Okay, we're at the launch point. In just a few seconds, you've done it. You've successfully broken that old habit loop of hesitation. But listen, the mental part is only half the battle. The whole rule falls apart without this last, most important piece. 1. You have to move, physically. Stand up, take a step, open the laptop, just put your feet on the floor. It's the physical action that shatters the mental loop of just thinking and hesitating. It sends a massive signal to your brain that says, hey, I'm in charge now, and we're doing this. All right, so you might be wondering, why on earth does something so simple actually work? I mean, it's just counting, right? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a brilliant little hack to outsmart your own brain's programming. Let's get into the science of it. So, the fancy sciencey term for this is metacognition. All that really means is thinking about your thinking. It's any trick or technique you can use to basically beat your brain at its own game. And the 5-second rule is a perfect metacognition tool. It lets your conscious, goal-oriented mind take the wheel from your brain's automatic and often unhelpful habits.
What this simple countdown does is trigger a kind of battle inside your head. So in one corner, you've got your basal ganglia. You can think of this as your automatic brain. It runs on habits, and its main job is just to keep you safe by avoiding anything new, scary, or uncertain. So when you hesitate, that's its cue to slam on the brakes. But in the other corner, you have your prefrontal cortex, your action brain. This is the part you use for focus, for making deliberate choices. The 5-second rule is like a starting ritual that shoves your action brain into the driver's seat, letting it override that automatic fear response.
So let's just recap how this whole thing works. 1, you've got that tiny 5-second window to act before your brain kills an idea. 2, the countdown acts as a pattern interrupt, breaking your normal habit of hesitating and overthinking. 3, it provides what chemists call activation energy, that first little push, which is always the hardest part. And 4, over time, it creates a brand new habit loop. Instead of hesitate, then stop, it becomes hesitate, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in the real world? I mean, this is about way more than just getting out of bed. This simple rule fundamentally redefines what courage even is. It proves that courage isn't some magical feeling you have to wait for. No, it's a choice, it's a skill, and it's something you build. 5 seconds at a time.
Okay, check this out. Take Laura, for example. She was the queen of to-do lists and getting totally stuck in a cycle of excuses. But by using the rule, she learned how to stop overthinking and just start doing. And the results? They were huge. She finished her bachelor's degree, boosted her cash flow by $4,000 a month, and started crushing these huge personal goals. It's just a perfect example of how these tiny little 5-second decisions can add up to massive, life-altering change.
Or how about Andre? He was full of ideas, but was constantly held back by those familiar excuses. I'm not ready, I'm not smart enough. He started using the rule to just act on his ideas within 5 seconds, no questions asked. And that small change led him to become the president of a club, chase after his academic goals, and finally start writing that book he'd always been dreaming about. He learned how to get ideas out of his head and actually bring them into the real world.
And this really gets to the core of it all. See, most of us think we need to feel confident before we can take action, but the science and real-world experience shows it's the complete opposite. You can't think your way into feeling confident. You have to act your way into it. It's like you do one small brave thing, and your brain logs that as evidence. It goes, I guess I'm the kind of person who does brave things. It's the action that builds the confidence, not the other way around.
All right, so the takeaway here is pretty simple, but it's powerful. Waiting for motivation to strike, it's a trap. Waiting until you feel like it, that's a surefire recipe for staying exactly where you are. The only moment you ever really have control over is right now.
You know, a completely different life isn't the result of some one giant heroic leap. It's the sum of thousands of these tiny 5-second decisions. The decision to get out of bed instead of hitting snooze. The decision to raise your hand in that meeting. The decision to just start. Every single time you do the countdown, you're casting a vote for the person you're trying to become.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a direct challenge. Right now, think about that one thing you've been putting off. You know what it is. That call you need to make, that first paragraph you need to write. What is your gut, your instinct, telling you to do right now, in this very moment?
Don't overthink it. Don't you dare wait to feel like it. Just start the countdown, and when you get to 1, move.